Okay, good morning and welcome to Iyun with Benzion. Today's daf is Yevamos Sadi Hey. I want to just clarify in today's shir a little bit of what I said yesterday. I made a big chiddush yesterday and said that most of the Mishnah on Pei Zayin Beis is talking about psulei edus. And when there's psulei edus, then we have to reckon whether you got a heter from Basin or you didn't get a heter from Basin. I'm just going to read the Mishnah very clearly on Pei Zayin Beis, so we get it clear how I would read the Mishnah, as opposed to the way our school reads the Mishnah. The Mishnah opens up, Yishach Ba'al Nina Siyam Bo Amrula Meiz Balak. Now, Amrula is plural, so Amrula doesn't mean Shtei Edom. Av doesn't mean Shtei Edom. Shtei Kasher Edom said to her, your husband died. I said, obviously, that's clarification. There's no reason to penalize her. She's not Teitei Mizeh Mizeh. She would never have to Teitei Mizeh Mizeh. Obviously, it means to multiple types of Edom, meaning any of the Psulei Edom that we're talking about. The Psulei Edom, meaning, like we said, an Isha, a Shifcha, Eid Mitpi'ed, all these Psulei Edus, and that's what's included. Amrullah, even if it's two of these Edom, they're all only considered like one Eid. They have no effectiveness, really. Chazal gave them effectiveness if they got a heter from a Beis Din. And that's what the Mishnah clarifies at the end of the Mishnah. The Mishnah talks about all the penalties, and then it says toward the end of the Mishnah, let's say she got married without Risha. So that is talking about where she has, I'm saying it's not where she had a valid aid, an aid kasher, or shtei eidim ksherim. There, you don't have to leave because, as I proved yesterday, based on aid echad, along with the umdina of milsa davida le'gluye, so therefore it becomes like a birur, it becomes like a proof. I would say, like alcohol, 40% alcohol, generally, whiskey or scotch is 40% alcohol by volume, which means 80 proof. I would say 80% is a proof, 75% is already a reasonable doubt, 80% is already past a reasonable doubt, 80 proof, 80%. I think Shtei Edim is a birur, it's a clarification, it doesn't mean it's the truth. Common knowledge is 100%. The ideas are 99.99%, but 80 proof, 80%, maybe even more than 75, I don't know, I'm not sure. I would say 80% is considered a proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So therefore, she can go back to her husband. She didn't do anything wrong. She's a complete shogeges. Then the Mishnah comes and talks about the original heter that the Mishnah gave. And he says, Alpi Beis Din. Now there's two ways when she gets married with Psulei Edus. Either she can come to Beis Din and Beis Din give her a heter, or she can take matters into her own hands and get married without a heter of Beis Din. So that's what the Mishnah says. Needs Alpi Beis Din. If she got married with a heter of Beis Din, Teitei, she still has to leave like a Mishnah says. V'chayeves b'korban. Needs Alpi Beis Din. Teitei p'turim min ha-korban. She's p'turim min ha-korban because she was told herself on the Beis Din. Lo needs Alpi Beis Din. If she didn't get married Alpi Beis Din, right? Teitei v'chayeves b'korban. She just took matters in her own hands. She had an Isha who told her the husband died. She got married without a heter of Beis Din. She's allowed to, right? The Mishnah says she's allowed to do it. But there are machmer at the end, and she's also chayav a korban. Yafakah Beis Din sheposhim in a korban. If she relies on Beis Din, it potters from a korban. She still has to leave her husband because of the knas. The knas they made because they relied on Beis Din. Beis Din relied on it. It's really meaningless. An eid echad psula. They gave her a psak Beis Din. If she got a psak Beis Din, they're allowed to do it, which is a birur. But included in the birur is a knas that she has to be tasting. Instead of a kol adracham eluva, she loses all these mizonos ksuva, and he also loses ma'aseh adeh, paraseret, etc., etc. Now back to the Gemara on Sadi Ham with Beis over here, where the Gemara is bringing in a shita of Rabbi Yossi, who argues on a comma. This is a machlokes recorded in the Mishnah on Sadi Dalet. On Sadi Dalet, Amid Aleph. It's actually Sadi Dalet and Beis, where Rabbi Yossi and the Tanakh the machlokes. There's two ways that the Gemara has explained the machlokes Rabbi Yossi and the Tanakh. I'm going to go with the first way the Gemara explains it, because according to that, the second half of Rabbi Yossi's statement is related to the Mishnah on Beis Zayin Amid Beis. And this is how the Gemara brings it. The Gemara says, in the middle of Sadi Hamad Beis, Amar Reisha. It's going on the Reisha. The second half of Rabbi Yossi's statement is going on the Reisha, meaning the Mishnah on Beis Zayin Beis. This is Alpi Beis Din. Teitei p'turim min ha-korban. If she gets married, Alpi Beis Din, meaning an apostle aid comes, an Isha or Shifcha, and she gets a heter from Beis Din, she has to leave, right? Because that was they were relying on her daiko mitzvah, but it's not. It's included in that as the knas. But since she relied on Beis Din, she's put them in a korban. Alpi Edem, Teitze v'chayeves b'karban. Now it's interesting. Al pi edim, so arshkol means shtei edim. It's very untenable to me. She got married out. Shtei kosher edim. It doesn't make any sense. She's a complete shogeges. There's no reason she can't go back to her husband. So obviously al pi edim means like in the beginning of the Mishnah, Amrullah is talking about multiple or different types of psulei edus, right? Al pi edim teitze v'chayeves b'karban. She therefore has to leave and shechayev in a karban because she relied on them without getting a hever terah. Based in Yafa Kochash based in Shapatra min karban. So you see over here clearly. I mean, this is obvious. It's interesting. The article notes this because it's quoting from the Mishnah, but it rephrases the Mishnah. The Mishnah itself in Bezayim and Vez says, "Needs to be based in during a karban. Lo needs to be based in." Instead of saying the actual Mishnah, "Lo needs to be based in," it says, "Al pi edim." If she gets married, al pi edim, not lo needs to be based in. So it changes the words over here. So that's really telling you what it means. Lo needs to be based in. She got married al pi edim, and we know it can't mean two kosher edim. And I proved yesterday even one kosher ed would be good enough because of the umdira milsa gluye. Obviously, it means like the beginning of the Mishnah, right? Neshteitze v'chayeves b'karban is talking about where she got married on psulei edim, any of the types of psulei edim, without a heter from Beistin, but from the karban. That's all I have to say about the matter. I think it's very clear, like I said, based on pure logic, the shtei edim. And yesterday we proved doing eid echad, the psak halacha, eid echad kosher, based on the svara of umdina milsa gluye, would also allow her to return to the husband. The only time she can't return to her husband if she relies on a pasul aid, and even if she gets a heter from a basin and she patas from the karban chatas, but she still would have to be tasting mizah mizah. That would be the clarification of this whole sugya. I hope you enjoyed. See you in Mishnah Yomi coming up now.